Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, Chair, for your kind introduction. Mr. Chairman, my topic for today is building maritime connectivity, ports, trade, and transport, Sri Lankan perspective. But only thing, the time is very short. But anyway, I try to cover within what I have written in my script. Ladies and gentlemen, the global maritime supply chains undoubtedly serves instrumental in shaping the trade pathways of nations, as a majority of the exchange take place through sea routes. However, having in place an all-inclusive multimodal transport system unfolding connectivity platforms bridged by rail, road, air, and waterways would be essential in building a more holistic industrial ecosystem that may seem business friendly. Nevertheless, regions across the globe have continued initiating efforts facilitating the improved functioning of the supply chain maneuvering the maritime industry amidst the progress gained till date, creating connectivity channels beyond borders for the ease of doing business. Many nations have now quite alternative begun implementing the one-stop shop strategy to provide the investors with all supply chain services under one roof. While it is noteworthy to state that trade, ports, and transport have become key component of the connectivity network, enabling nations to function as one global village, the maritime sectors may certainly serve as the greatest stimuli in improving the trade profiles of the nations. Ladies and gentlemen, gaining insight from the unclosed provisions for fostering maritime diplomacy, which stipulates the legal framework governing all maritime operations, the global maritime sector has scaled new heights towards becoming more inclusive by enforcing more open policies. However, at a time when the concept of maritime connectivity is gaining precedence, the Indo-Pacific region in particular has excessively commenced investing in waterways, air and roadways with the primary purpose of gaining easy access to global markets. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the Indo-Pacific region at length, it must be stated that the region offers the primary passage of connection, bringing together the busiest sea lines of global trade transportation. Half of the world's container traffic, 1/3 of bulk cargo transportation, and 2/3 of global oil trade transit the waters of this region, approximately accounting for 50% of the world's shipping trade. Ports in this region have been categorized based on their transshipment incident percentages as gateways, regional hubs, and pure transshipment ports. Furthermore, this region is expected to contribute 22.1% of the world GDP by 2025, next year. And this process of regional maritime integration, which regional nations have reaffirmed the fifth in the ranking forwards towards successful closer, has been further facilitated by the gradual unfolding of the phase of digitalization, which has necessitated the majority of the supply chain function to be carried out on the virtual platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, in this context, Sri Lanka's role as an island nation in the contribution made towards promoting regional maritime connectivity is certainly vital to understand as the locational advantage of occupying a strategic position along the main maritime pathways provides seafarers and supply chains intermediaries with better integrated navigating platforms, while 8 nautical miles south of Sri Lanka lies the East-West shipping corridor. It further serves as a bridging platform connecting Asia to Europe. However, this being the busiest sea route in the world, more than 200 to 300 ships move along these channels every day, carrying 2/3 of the world's oil, 1/3 of the world's container shipment. Moreover, Sri Lanka has also been identified as the only South Asian transshipment hub and the central point linking the Middle East and the Far East hubs within 4 days of sailing and 4 hours of flight time. Therefore, as the time goes by, it may certainly become evident that the Sri Lanka will be able to transform itself into a hub of maritime trade in the Indian Ocean and the Indo-Pacific region. Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Lanka at present has prioritized the undertakings relating to maritime spatial planning as well as the realignment of inland resources and land management systems, which the nations believes may help complement the process of promoting maritime trade activities and gaining advantage of being positioned in the world's fastest growing economic region, comprising of the widening consumer markets and industrial sectors, therefore increasing the productivity levels and the handling capacity of seaports located along the coastal belt of Sri Lanka, while also improving the associated infrastructure will remain mandatory. If the envisaged long-term hopes of becoming regional hub for maritime trade is to be realized as planned, the speedy development that is taking place to improve the shipping, logistic infrastructure facilities and around main ports of Sri Lanka, such as Port of Colombo, Port of Hambantota, and Port of Trincomalee, is allowing the expansion of existing terminals and building new terminals with enhanced capacity that could easily handle the largest categories of vessels, while also providing the way for extending export services. Moreover, with the share of 2.5% of GDP, the entire maritime sector of Sri Lanka has been able to draw $2 billion revenue annually and has been able to contribute 7% of the national export income. Ladies and gentlemen, the Port of Colombo identified as the deep draft port which was able to secure milestone achievement of being able to handle a total of 7.2 million TEUs in 2020 as assessed by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Administration Development Port Liner Shipping Connectivity Index 2022 of the first quarter, was identified as the 17th best out of the 25 world's best port, as was further recognized by the World Shipping Council in 2020 as the 25th best port among the top 50 container ports in the world. However, plans have been already been undertaken to improve the level of efficiency of the major container terminal to gradually reach handling capacity of 18 million TEUs by 2030. At present, 80% of the container transshipment are from India and the balance are from other countries in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, regional connectivity comes in many forms of fostering a multimodal transport system within nations and between nations that have easy road and rail access. Many may certainly complement the operations of the maritime activity chain, growing support extending through various modes of transportation, which include air, road, and rail. Connectivity channels is becoming an added advantage in this context. Sri Lanka holds the advantage of having the highest road density in South Asia, connecting all major seaports, airports, and Colombo and down south, it's called close to Hambantota Mattola Airport. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, since my time is almost closer to 10 minutes, as gauged by regional nations, advancement that take place within the maritime domain will often bring necessity to strengthen the regional maritime security network that becomes the basis of promoting both security cooperation and trade alliances within the region. Therefore, further strengthening regional maritime security information sharing system and practicing well-tailored offshore disaster response management strategies would remain essential. This may very well imply that the sea lines of communications in the Indo-Pacific region and the lifeline of global commerce must be open for peaceful use, while safeguarding the interests of the regional nations and protecting the rights of the seafarers are rightly advocated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi. However, Sri Lanka, as the closest neighbor holding long-standing partnership with India in multifaceted way, is certainly committed to extending its fullest cooperation in collaborating with all such regional movement initiated by India towards leverage maritime sector operation as critical factors for attaining self-reliance by the regional nation. So that's I cover, but if there's any question and answer, I can answer. Thank you very much.